Testing the sound, 1, 2. Just like leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm about to butcher this name. I feel like a giant. I mean, who can resist a murder mystery? Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. I hope you're well. Thank you for tuning in for another video. If you haven't already, please subscribe, helps me out a ton. Like and comment. Go on, you know you want to. And if you want to, also follow me on Instagram, What Ray Reads. Did I mention I'm Ray? What Ray Reads. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you some books I'm excited for in the new year. So 2024 releases. It feels incredibly weird to be saying 2024. But yeah, let's get into the video and I'll share what I'm excited to read in the new year. And just a note to say that the dates I'm going off might have already been released in your country. I know a few of the books that I've added to my list have already been released in the US and Canada, but I'm going off the UK dates off Waterstones UK and Amazon UK. Cue Jeffrey Bezos song here by Bo Burnham. Jeffrey Bezos. So the first book I'm excited to read in the new year is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. And if you're not familiar, Coco Mellors is the author of Cleopatra and Frankenstein, which was a really popular book in the book community last year, I think. Was it last year or the year before? I think it might have been the year before. Yeah, and I really love that book. You do? And Blue Sisters apparently follows 3 sisters who are all very different and they live in different parts of the world. Paris, London and LA, and something happens and they return to the family home in New York, and it turns out that the thing that reunites them is the death of their 4th beloved sister, and so they all reconnect and have to deal with the fallout and the grief of losing such a close sibling and family member, and it follows them as they navigate life and addiction and loss and ambition. And one thing that Coco Mellors was very good at doing was creating really vivid characters, so I'm really interested and excited to see how she writes the different sisters. So yeah, that's the first book, and apparently it is going to be released on the 25th of April 2024 in the UK. The next book I'm excited to read is Microphone. I feel like a giant because the microphone is so small. It's pink, if you can't tell. Yeah, so the next book I'm excited to read is Come and Get It by Reid, and that is going to be released sooner rather than later on the 30th of January, so I need to get that pre-ordered. And Reid is the author of Such a Fun Age, which was a book that was really popular and came out a couple of years ago now. I think it came out in 2019, but don't hold me to it. And it's set in the University of Arkansas in 2017, and we follow Millie, who is a resident assistant, and she wants to graduate, get a job and get a house. It's me too! And just be more secure. So when she meets a visiting professor, he offers her an unusual deal, a proposal if you will, an opportunity. And she jumps at the chance. We don't really get told what it is, but I bet you there's a financial motive in it. And Millie's hustle and nature really upturns a lot of things in her life. I'm reading what the blurb says, obviously. And it becomes a jeopardising situation for her friends, family, and her current situation. And the blurb says that it's a fresh and intimate portrait of desire and reckless abandon. Sounds messy, I'm there. The next book is Normal Women by, I'm about to butcher this name, Ainsley Hogarth. I think that is how you pronounce the name. It looks a bit Irish. You know, the way Irish names are spelt a lot different from the way you pronounce them. But please let me know if I've mispronounced it. And again, this is one that's coming out sooner rather than later. It's coming out on the 4th of January, so she needs to snap that up. And again, this is another author I was a fan of, so I looked up on the computer what her next book would be, and she wrote Mother Thing, which was like a twisted horror maternal relationship dynamic. It was so bizarre and I lived. And Normal Women apparently follows a new mother, Danny, who moves back to her hometown, and she's dealing with being a new mother, and she's fed up of not living up to what the other mothers are like, the perfectly manicured, you know, Lululemon girly mothers.
I'm not like a regular mom, I'm a cool mom.
and she feels inadequate, and she starts feeling anxious, not only about that, but she feels anxious about her husband, who she starts fretting about, thinking that something terrible's going to happen to him. So it seems like heightened anxiety, and she's worried that if he dies, then they'll be destitute. And to try and ease her mind, she joins a yoga centre called The Temple, which claims to help people fulfill their potential. Don't they all? I mean, I'm a fan of yoga, but you know, the Western white yoga selling point is really just like leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And apparently this yoga centre also tries to encourage the people who go there, from what I'm reading in the blurb, to do a bit of sex work on the side, which is a bit puzzling. But just as she's preparing to embrace this new chapter of her life and these new friends that she's meeting in her new yoga centre that she's going to, someone disappears and she starts playing detective, and that sounds like something I'd do. We all think we're a bit of a detective, don't we? No! So yeah, that sounds unhinged and in keeping with the complex female characters she wrote in a previous book, so yeah, I can't wait to read that. The next book I'm excited to read is End of Story by AJ Finn, and if you're wondering who that is, he's the author of Woman in the Window, which was adapted terribly into a film with the one, the only Amy Adams. Absolutely love Amy Adams. Yeah, but the adaptation wasn't very good, so but I devoured that book and I made my friends read it with me, and I can't remember if we all read it together and we were all like texting whilst we're reading it, because it was like proper edge of your seat type of reading. And apparently this new book is an edge of your seat thriller. Sign me up, I'm there. And somebody gets a message and says, "I'll be dead in 3 months, come write my story." And so I think the person telling the story is a author, and he enlists one of his friends who is also a journalist or something like that to come tell his story, because he's going to be dead in 3 months apparently. And he gets invited to their bougie San Francisco home, and the story starts unravelling and things aren't what they seem, and it's given page turner, it's given thriller, it's given edge of your seat, I'll read it in a day. So yeah, that one is coming out on the 29th of February 2024. Next we've got sorry, the microphone, I can't. The next book we've got is a pop culture, cultural criticism style book by Amanda Montell. So I just realised that I forgot to include that the title of the book is called The Age of Magical Overthinking. And I've mentioned Amanda Montell in a few other videos. She's got a really sharp wit and writes about a lot of pop culture, cultural criticism essays. She's got word slut and cultish. Yes, so her new book delves into the cognitive biases that we all have that run rampant in our brain. Guilty. From the halo effect to the sunk cost fallacy, which I don't know anything about. I know about the halo effect. Halo, halo, halo. Glass shattering everywhere. But she delves into all these pop culture buzzwordy things and she really investigates them, and she's got a really fun way of writing that's very engaging. And it says that the book's message is one of hope, empathy and forgiveness in an anxiety-filled world, so I can't wait to read that. And apparently that one is out on the 9th of April 2024. Next we have The Mystery Guest by Nita Prose. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but she's the author of The Maid. And apparently this is another book that's going to be out soon on the 18th of January 2024. So I need to get saving for all these books coming out. And again, it's basically a follow-up to The Maid, and we follow Molly the maid again back at the hotel, and she's just living a life being a maid. I'm pretty sure in the last book she like gets promoted to like head maid. Don't hold me to it though, I read it quite a while ago now. And apparently a famous guest, a mystery writer, is staying at the hotel, and the hotel descends into chaos when something happens to him, I believe, and Molly's involved again. And apparently there's like a connection between the mystery writer and Molly, and we're following her as she's uncovering it. So it's playing on the same themes as the first one, which is what made the book so popular in the first place. And Molly's just a really engaging character. And apparently I read it, they're making The Maid into a film with Florence Pugh, so I'll have to check that out and make sure, you know, I'm not creating that in my head. Yeah, I'm excited to read the follow-up and see what Molly's up to. Next, out on the 25th of April, the books get released like at the same time, because they're all basically getting put out at the same time, and it's like, she's not rich. So did I say it was out on the 25th of April? We've got Funny Story by the rom-com queen, girl boss, Emily Henry. And this one's seeming to be like a love triangle that, you know, a few spanners are thrown in, obviously. Will they? Won't they? Who knows? We apparently follow Daphne and Peter, who are married, and they seemingly live have a gorgeous relationship, and they're always telling the story of how they met, this and that. And then Daphne discovers that actually Peter's in love with his childhood best friend, Petra.
That's so upsetting.
So, you know, I'm pretty sure they're heading for divorce in this one. And then it seems like it gets a bit messy because then Petra's ex-husband gets drawn into the picture. And I think the ex-partners of both of those end up kind of coming together, and it might be a spark of a relationship for those. So it sounds like rom-com gold. It's given will they, won't they, and it's given mess.
I'm excited because I love mess.
The next book is from a writer that I've actually never read before, and it's called Real Americans by Rachel Khong, and that's coming out on the 30th of April 2024, and it's said to be a multi-generational epic about a family that is trying to live the American dream, and it's about the illusion of the American dream and privilege and identity. And the tagline is, how far will you go to belong? So it's saying that it's about sacrifice, choices and fate. And, you know, we all see that in family generational stories. So we've got all of the multi-generational family dynamics, and got betrayal, heartbreaks, dreams, not achieving dreams, everything that you can probably think about. And I have read a few multi-generational stories before, and I find them really impactful. So I'm very excited to read that. Next, we've got The Fury by Alex Michaelides. Hope I'm pronouncing that right.
That is not correct.
She doesn't have the best ability to pronounce names. And that's coming out on the 1st of February 2014. I've actually read one of his books before, which was The Silent Patient, and I know that was quite popular, and I did quite enjoy it, but I found the big reveal and plot twist at the end, it didn't pay off because I basically guessed the plot twist halfway through the book. That was another one I read with my friends, and we all kind of had different opinions of what we thought about the book. And I know he has another book that's popular in the book community. It's called Maidens, I think, and that's dark academia, but I've not read that. It sort of didn't appeal to me, but if I enjoy this, I might read it. And it's said to be a closed community thriller about a movie star who throws a big lavish party on a Greek island.
I'm on my way.
And a murderer is lurking in the shadows. So it's given whodunit, it's given a bit of Cluedo, and nothing is what it seems. So it's given a page turner, it's given an easy read, and it's getting a chance by me. I mean, who can resist a murder mystery? The next book is a collaborative novel called 14 Days, and it's a collaborative novel that is edited by Margaret Atwood along with a few other authors, and it's a collection of short stories, and each story is from a different prominent author. So we've got, I think one of the authors is Dave Eggers, Margaret Atwood and Celeste Ng, and I'm a fan of Margaret Atwood and Celeste Ng, so I seen this when I was scrolling to see what was to be released, and it really caught me attention. It's set during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's set in a tenement building in New York's Lower East Side, I think, and the tenants have all started to gather and tell stories on the rooftop, and I think that is what all the short stories are about. And with each night, more tenants gather and tell the stories, and it seems to be highlighting the importance of storytelling, especially in the midst of a global pandemic. That is released on the 6th of February 2024. The next book is Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, butchering names left and right again, and that one is going to be released on the 16th of the 7th 2024, and I actually came across this book watching, what's her name? The Story Ain't Over, her book account, and this one's kind of like a horror or gothic horror, Mexican gothic horror story. And it's a meld of the horror genre and the film industry. We follow a sound editor who's in a boys' club, and she's not really taken seriously because a lot of people in the film industry are men. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
strange happenings appear to be rearing the heads, and her and a friend start investigating it, and they unravel things to do with the occult and horror and gothic happenings, and they soon discover, according to the blurb, sorcerers and magic
Wingardium Leviosa
are not only stuff of movies. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, that one's on my list. And the last book on my list so far is Memory Peace by Lisa Coe, which is going to be coming out on the 19th of March 2024. And I read and absolutely loved her previous book, The Leavers, which was a bit of a multi-generational story of people who were immigrating to America and their struggle to raise the family and find financial stability and security in this new life. And her new novel is said to be a novel of friendship, art and ambition, and the main question is, what is a meaningful life, or what is the value of a meaningful life? Apparently we start in the 1980s. Hello Mabel. We start in the 1980s, and 3 teenagers who don't feel like they fit in find companionship with each other, and they all desire something different. And it follows them as they grow and trying to achieve their goals of being artistic collaborators as well as friends, and they want their future to be defined by creativity and freedom. So it sounds really interesting, and again we've got sounds like a bit of a multi-generational complex story, so I'm all over that. So yeah, they're just a few books I'm really excited to read in the new year. Let me know in the comments what books you're looking forward to reading, because I always need to add more to my list, you know, because I don't have enough. That was the video for today, and if you haven't already, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye!